Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another audio installment here of the Pop Quiz with Brian Cole. I have a very special guest with me on this installment, this Summerslam edition of the Pop Quiz. He needs no introduction, but I'll go ahead and tell you who it is. The Leviathan, Ryan Azrael, is here with us tonight. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good. Been better, but doing good.
Good to hear. Ryan, got some fan questions here, believe it or not, and got some questions myself. I'm going to start with the big question for you. Why the judge?
Listen, you little pipsqueak. I'll tell you exactly why the judge. I should still be ECW's hardcore champion, but the judge comes out of nowhere and decides to see fit to give undeserving punks like Gucci a shot. And yeah, so the sun finally shined on that Cajun swamp dog's ass, and he beat me for the belt. So why judge? Why not judge? The bureaucrats of this company have been sticking their nose in for far too long. Judge got exactly what was coming to him.
All right. Well, I guess that'll set us up for our first fan question of this interview. Are you quote unquote butthurt about Gucci beating you for the belt?
Am I butthurt about Gucci beating me for the belt? What kind of stupid question is that?
Yeah.
Am I butthurt that I lost the belt to an undeserving, no-name, beat a couple jobbers and get a shot, type of bum? No, I'm not.
All right. Well, we'll move on to my next question here, and move away from some of these fan questions. I'm not sure what the point of that one was, but anyway, back to my questions for you here, Ryan. This is one that I'm very interested in, particularly. You, AJ Hawks, and McNasty Bones, you three are on the cusp of grand slamming the biggest titles here in El Dorado Championship Wrestling. How do you plan on getting back into the World Heavyweight Championship picture, and how do the other two names I mentioned in this question stack up to you individually?
Well, I'll give it to you. That was a good question. Here's the thing. This question here is exactly why I'm not as upset about losing my hardcore belt. It's because I've come to realize that I, Ryan Azrael, the Leviathan, am meant for bigger things. AJ Hawks, McNasty Bones, both more than qualified to be Grand Slam champs. Myself, I'm going to be right there with them. So, whichever one of us can get there first, good for them. Am I friendly with any of them? No. But I got respect. So, as far as, what's my next step? How do I plan on getting there? How do I plan on getting to the top? I plan on getting to the top the same way I got everywhere in this company. I'm going to beat the piss out of anybody who steps in front of me. First up, judge.
All right, we'll branch off from that question here. Main eventing SummerSlam is a pretty huge ordeal here in this company. A little bit more in depth from what you stated there. What is next for you after SummerSlam?
What's next for me after SummerSlam? It's simple. Gold. ECW gold. I'm going on a gold rush. I'm not going to stop until I'm sitting alone atop ECW mountain. I'm going for gold. I'm going for that ECW World Heavyweight strap. I don't give a damn who stands in my way. McGlasson sitting at the top, that's a joke. McGlasson is the luckiest bastard ECW can find. I had to pair up with him to fight Reed and Judge, and all he did was sit in the damn corner. Typical opportunist, McGlasson. Taking a few shots here and there whenever it seems good for him, and then snaking his way to the back. He's not a fighter. This is a blood sport, and all he does is bleed between his legs. And I've said that before. I'll go on record every single time. There is no love lost between me and McGlasson. So if I got to get the belt by beating the snot out of him, then that's what I'm going to do.
Alrighty. Back to some fan questions here. Here's one I think you'll find rather interesting. Going back a little ways here, a couple months when you were still hardcore champion, why didn't you end the career of Blade Wyatt on SmackDown?
You know, here's the thing. This isn't the first time I got asked this question. Why didn't I end the career of Blade Wyatt? Azrael, you could have just ended his career right there. What did he do? What did he do? You know, I look at these jobbers that come through development, and I think, what's the point? I mean, yeah, I'm gonna break my foot off in his ass, and I'm gonna hurt him as bad as I can. But is he honestly worth my time? No. And honestly, all that does is fall back on my despise for Judge and Jones. Why are these bums even getting to touch me at this point? I'll never understand it. I mean, so why didn't I end his career? He's not worth my time. I shouldn't have even had the match. But because Jones and Judge thought they'd stick their nose in where it don't belong again and give these undeserving bums champions, or let them face champions, rather, I had to beat up another jobber.
Okay. Moving on to another fan-submitted question here. Are you the reason why ECW venues and arenas do not have food stands?
Yeah. I take pride in smashing catering every chance I get.
Oh, that's interesting. I know there's been a lot of controversy with that backstage.
I don't really care about controversy. I like leaving the shitty stuff like that government cheese. I like leaving that to bums like Wyatt.
Okay. Speaking of controversy, another fan question here. This fan writes in: did you get arrested for running over a cyclist? I'm guessing they're speaking about the recent news that broke of your investigation with the intoxication incident there.
Yeah. Investigation with intoxication. Did I hit a cyclist? Hopefully. I don't remember seeing one skip off my vehicle, but I mean, of course, who knows? You know. As far as the investigation, I'm not at liberty to say too much about that. My lawyers are taking care of my situation. So, did I hit a cyclist? What's any luck? I mean.
Okay. Speaking of your lawyers in this investigation, another fan wrote in here and asked, is Winston K. McNastybones your lawyer by chance?
I employ the man, yeah. He's a good lawyer. What do you want? I mean, get results out of the man.
He's definitely making his rounds.
I mean, what can he do? He's cheap enough. Shit. I flip him an 8-ball here and, take him to a strip club or two. Hey, I'm paid off for this month.
Alrighty. Moving on back to my questions here on the other side of this. Any thoughts on this rising faction known as the 700 Block?
I mean, more power to them. I can't really talk bad about factions when I was one of the leaders of the strongest faction ECW's ever seen. I will honestly say, if they don't want history to repeat itself, they won't do what we did and allow bums to infiltrate their faction. I mean, we had certain people that didn't need to be there that ended up being there, and I honestly think it just laid the groundwork for what had happened. So, do I have anything to say about 700 Block? No. I mean, I respect any group that'll kick people's asses and leave it alone. So, I mean, that's kind of what I like to do. So let them do it. Stop them if you don't like it.
Right. Okay. Our last fan question here, before we get to the last concluding questions, in your opinion, what would be the best match you've had thus far in your ECW career?
Oh. You know, I'm a pretty arrogant son of a bitch, and I admit it. I don't think any of my matches have been the best. I think I've won some, I've lost some, but I mean, I think everybody's beneath me. As far as I'm concerned, ECW is full of bums and jobbers. A few exceptions, but like greatest match, wow. I mean, that's a tough one. I don't know. I guess we'll see at SummerSlam, won't we?
Oh, it's an interesting prediction. Yeah. I for one am definitely looking forward to the main event, and I believe most of the ECW universe is as well, seeing that the polls are pretty even. But yeah, you got to give yourself a pat on the back, as I'm sure you will. You're ahead on the polls right now, Azrael. A lot of people are counting the Judge as the underdog here.
You know, I don't put too much into them polls. Polls are voted on. You know, it is what it is. It's. I'm going to go into SummerSlam. I'm going to beat the ever-living piss out of Judge for what he's done, and hopefully get my message across that the ECW bureaucrats need to keep their fucking nose out of, you know, people's title contention. It's not his job to line up jobbers. It's his job to feed me people as a champion and not, you know, deserving people, rather. Let me clarify. Deserving people. You know? I mean, yeah, he had a head of steam coming in. Oh boy. I don't give a damn about any of that. I give a damn about me being shit. So I don't particularly care for some of the decisions made. But hey, you got to roll with it.
So you and Detroit, Michigan, the former SmackDown commentator, were pretty close friends from talks. What are your thoughts on the rumor of him losing his position as a SmackDown commentator for rigging bets on your matches?
Detroit is straight up most trustworthy person in ECW. Him and Winston are, I mean, ECW icons in my book. I mean, I can't say any better things about them. You're talking about stand-up, straight-up guys. I mean, so this rigging stuff, you know, I don't really buy it, you know. But, I mean, maybe that's just me. Maybe how I see things isn't how everybody else should see things. So, you know, I mean, Detroit, I'm happy for him, man. If he gets fired, I'm happy for him, for real.
Yeah, it definitely stirred up a lot of controversy. He was supposed to be the designated commentator for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and I mean, he's not been heard from since then.
Nah, he's fine. I spoke to him. He's fine. He's basically. It's basically that people are trying to make him out. This is more Jones and Judge fodder, but people are making him out to be the Pete Rose of ECW here. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer already, and people are already trying to keep him down. You know, so I mean, I know how that feels, so I understand it. I mean, he's fine.
Well, I gotta say, from one commentator to another, if he's listening to this, which I'm sure he is, I'm a little saddened that due to this controversy, I didn't get a chance to call a match with him. So hopefully things pan out, and maybe we'll get the duo together.
Well, you know, Cole, I mean, I don't really care what you think, to be honest. I'm happy you didn't get to call anything with him because you would have pretty much screwed it up. So, I mean, we're talking about Detroit, Michigan, the best commentator ECW has. So,
well, Azrael, with all due respect to your opinion there, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to end up another one of those catering stories, if you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean, so I recommend keeping your mouth shut.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and conclude this interview then and let you get on about your business. Maybe we can keep it that way. The last
Yeah, I mean, I am kind of busy. I'm getting ready to pick up Mrs. McGlasson again. She's going to run me down to Popeyes. So.
Yeah, you got a big match coming up tonight as well at SummerSlam, you know. I guess
Yeah.
she'll be in the
Headlining match against ECW royalty. Oh, I'm excited.
Alrighty. Our last question here, and then I'll let you get back to business. Will we ever see Ryan Azrael in another tag team, or does the one-man army lifestyle fit you better?
You know what? I'm not going to rule anything out. ECW, there's lots of twists, lots of turns. I can't rule anything out at this point. Right now, my focus is the top of the mountain. I want ECW Gold, and whether it be Parks or McGlasson or Hawks or I don't care who's sitting at the top. I'm coming for that belt, and it's just real simple. Beating the hell out of Judge and then scoring the World Heavyweight title is going to be the only thing that's going to it's the only thing that's going to work for me. At this point, I mean, I'm fixated on one thing, and that's gold.
Well, alrighty. Thank you for your time, Ryan. I know that there has been some fans who were very eager to hear this second edition of the audio cast here of the pop quiz, and it was an interesting and insightful conversation with you here. So I'll leave you with this. I wish you luck in your match with the Judge, and hopefully we can speak again soon in the future.
Yeah, I don't need luck. I'm the best. So, Judge, see you out there tonight.